What's going on, guys? Shannon here from 8lift. Past couple weeks has been kind of interesting on social media with after the aftermath of the Arnold Strongman Classic. Thor Bjornsson attempted the 501 kilo deadlift on the elephant bar. He was unsuccessful, unfortunately. I was really hoping he'd get it. But I've just been seeing the social media garbage that's come from it. The thing that inspired me to even make this video was I read a comment where somebody rather audaciously said, "Well, this proved that Thor never did the 501 that he claimed that he did." The thing of it is, so first of all, we need to compare the 501 kilo elephant bar attempt versus the 501 gym lift that he did. I can't remember what year it was. Regardless, everybody knows what I'm talking about. The 501 kilo that he did, that he completed, was in a suit. First of all, it was in a suit on a more or less standard deadlift bar. It wasn't the elephant bar, which has different tendencies to it, and it kind of comes alive at heavy weights. And anybody, and I've read and seen a lot of articles and a lot of commentaries of guys who have lifted on the elephant bar. I have not. But guys that have lifted on it said, man, that thing just gets active. Like when you're locking out, it'll jump on you. It'll pry the weight right out of your hands. And it's just got these odd tendencies to it. And you can see it if you've watched enough strongman, you've seen the elephant bar do its thing. So we're talking about two different lifts in reality here because it's a different bar. One is in a suit, one's not. So to say because Thor failed to pull 501 without a suit on the elephant bar is proof that he never did 501 in the past is completely absurd. It's a strange comparison. It's an odd comparison. I don't even know why that was even said, and I have to say I saw it more than once. So I was just like, whatever. But as far as like there's always that underlying, well, who's actually the world record holder? If you ask Google, it'll tell you Thor. If you ask Eddie Hall fans, they'll say Eddie Hall. If you ask Thor fans, they say Thor. Okay, so what's the answer here? And I don't think there's ever going to be that definitive answer. It's going to be basically opinion. I'll share my opinion at the risk of having my comment section explode with negativity, which if it does, it does. My opinion is that Eddie Hall is the world record holder of the deadlift at 500 kilos. Now, the reason I say that is because it was done in a competition setting. To those that would argue, well, he didn't finish the rest of the strongman competition that deadlifting championship was a part of, I will remind you, had Eddie Hall come out for the next event and injured himself and not finish the rest of the show, he would have still held the deadlift world record. So that nullifies that right away. Second of which, too, you have the pacing is different, the environment is different, the standard equipment, whatever. Now, in Thor's case, I do believe he pulled the 501. Now, to the Thor haters out there, his dad weighed the plates, all this stuff. Okay, it wouldn't have mattered if his dad weighed the plates, if he would have weighed the plates, if his mom would have weighed the plates, if his friend's uncle's cousin's brother-in-law's sister weighed the plates. Nobody would have been happy with it because it's like, oh, they were from Iceland. They're going to be on his side or something. And nobody's going to be happy with the answer. It always has been that world records are set in a competition setting, for these specific things. And it's done for a reason. It's to standardize the lift, standardized equipment, standardized rules, standardized lift. That's all she wrote. That's how I see it. It still, to me, does not take away from Thor because of, I believe he accomplished that lift. Because again, you have to consider what Thor was at risk of losing if the lift was fraudulent. He had so much to lose. It wouldn't have made sense for him to lie about it. And besides, the man has the physical capability to do it. I mean, let's face it. Nobody can take away that Thor Bjornsson is one of the strongest men that has ever walked the planet Earth. They can actually say that about Eddie Hall too. I hope eventually that a lot of the smearing stops, because I mean the two guys involved here, they've got their own feud, they got their own beef. I'm a big advocate of, let boys handle the boy shit. Let them handle their stuff. And just, hopefully maybe they can have a beer over it, chill out, shake hands. They already beat each other up over it. Okay, well, hopefully they can just kind of grow together and settle this thing, because it'd be nice for the sport, I think, and it would just be a great thing, I think. But the chirping people in the background, you're not helping anything. You're not helping anything. Two things can be mutually correct, and two things can also be mutually false. And what I mean by that is, if I said, in this one way or the other society that we live in, if I say the sky is red and the sky is yellow, both are incorrect, but that doesn't mean you got to take a side on red and yellow, because those are the only two options given to you, and in the case of Eddie and Thor, I believe they both completed the list they said they lifted. I do believe Eddie did 500 kilos. I do believe Thor did 501 kilos. I have to say, though, is in the spirit of competition and in the spirit of setting records, in these specific sports and disciplines, they have set standards to where these things are done in competition. And I know that the pandemic had a lot to do with why things were done the way they were. But, Olympians don't get that same privilege. So, they can't just go into their training pool and beat the 100-meter freestyle on camera, with a stopwatch and go, I'm the world record holder. It just doesn't work that way. So, and the thing of it is, I mean, I'm talking about Olympics, I'm talking about strongman. I would like to see strongman and all of lifting sports become more legitimate in that sense. It baffles me that powerlifting is not in the Olympics, but weightlifting is, and there's been a lot of conjecture about why that is, as far as judging and, how do you judge this? How do you judge that? Whatever. Well, the same things apply in weightlifting as they do in powerlifting, as far as what's a technique issues here. If you did you lock out your snatch instead of popping it straight up, whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of things. But my point is, if we want to see strongman, powerlifting, all these things become more legitimate, then we need to stick with legitimate records or legitimate scorekeeping. And it's not to say that Thor did not accomplish that feat. I believe he did. But it just doesn't count. It doesn't count. And it actually pains me to say that, because he worked really hard and he got dealt a bad hand that he was peaking at a time where the world was diving. And that really sucks for him. And I feel for him on that. But, I'd like to see a day, honestly, I'd like to just see the day where somebody comes and removes that little asterisk, and, it's just time to see that go away. It would be good for the sport to unify around an agreed upon world record, on this lift, but that's my 2 cents on the matter. But, hey, appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. Please check out our merch at 8lift.com. You get groovy shirts kind of like this. We got a lot of really good stuff coming up here. We got the Chalk and Awe online competition coming up on the 26th of April. That's going to be a lot of fun. Right now we got about 12 people involved, which is awesome. If you don't know about 8lift competitions, there are some here on the channel that we've published. There was a head-to-head that I did with one of our other lifters back in August of last year. And then back in December, we had 5 people involved in a competition as well. A lot of fun. It's very challenging because, we're doing weightlifting, powerlifting, and strongman. So much fun. But yeah, guys, please check us out. Check out that merch. Like I said, on our website. Pick something up. Help out the cause. Spread the word about us. And at the very least, if you could just like, share, or subscribe, that'd be awesome. It costs you nothing. It means the world to us. It helps with the algorithm, and it's all rock and roll. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day. God bless you.